Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. We're at episode 829. It's July 9, 2025. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
I'm Brett Van Spernberg, and I know why I'm here.
And I'm Kent Burgess, and I also know why I'm here.
It's the Patreon segment of the podcast where Brett will now inform us of names. He will name names. It's like Hollywood during the Red Scare.
Except it's more pointed, and we're not going to use people's first names to allow them to escape any possible embarrassment they might feel.
Wait, wasn't it last names? It was first and last names.
Actually, I'm just going to throw these words out there, and you can decide for yourselves whether these are first or last names. Good to go? All right, so special shout out to S. Rowland for liking the Unshow. I didn't actually notice until a couple of weeks had passed. Do you remember the date that Sebastian wasn't feeling well? I was out of town, and we skipped a week, canceled the show. Well, Sebastian, what a showrunner he is, made a post into the Patreon-only space and said, hey, sorry, we're not here this week. We're going to be back next week. We're out. One person liked that post, and that was S. Rowland.
Thank you.
And I want to...
They were just happy that we weren't podcasting that week.
Yes.
Like, oh, yep, so thank goodness.
Thank you for not podcasting.
Yeah.
But wait, there's one more. There's another person, keeping in the same vein. There's someone who really likes many of the posts on Patreon. He's, she could be, I don't know. This person is someone who goes through and does a lot of likes on all of them. And I want to show my appreciation. That's D Turnbull. So thank you for the enthusiasm, D.
Nice.
There you go.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's time for the most important segment of the podcast. Food with Josh.
Food with Josh. So today was an interesting one. So I had the cheesesteak last week, and that was fantastic. Got a lot of likes on the X app, or Twitter, as I still prefer to call it. But they had a new one up. It's called the Smoke Show. The Smoke Show is a smoked chicken thigh, deboned, of course, topped with pepper jack cheese, in-house sweet and spicy pickles, chip mayo, I don't know what chip mayo is, and a dash of Nashville dry rub. And it was pretty tasty. I mean, it wasn't the best because the chicken was a little too overdone. The taste was actually pretty good. It was just a little hard to eat because the smoking process made the chicken a little tougher, even though it was still juicy. Pepper jack cheese was fantastic. The slightly sweet and spicy pickles, homemade there, were pretty good too. So it was filling. The fries were okay. They were a little under-seasoned, which I'm not fond of. But if you can add your own seasoning, which is good. So still a very filling and unique special that you should try it if you're ever in town. Too bad they're limited time only.
Yeah, I just can't get over how photogenic those pickles are.
They are photogenic.
The sauce is just balanced perfectly upon them.
I know. It was weird.
When is it just a cucumber with sauce on it? Those don't look like actual pickles.
Well, I mean, pickling is just an act of, putting it in vinegar and dill and
but for more than 10
water.
minutes.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, when you do like daikon pickling, it is essentially only about 10, 15 minutes that, if you get banh mi and whatnot. So pickling is, it's just not a soggy dill pickle that you can shake.
God, no.
It's good, nice and crisp.
You can even do the ones that are fermented and come out really nice.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to try and use the phrase daikon pickling in a casual conversation soon.
Moving immediately to the news portion of our podcast as
Without
we
delay.
talk about NVIDIA.
Is it worth talking about them?
Of the business world. It's AI. They've built
building
this
city.
Rock and roll.
Yes, they built this city on AI. It's an interesting follow-up to their previous top 10 hit on the Billboard charts. NVIDIA killed the Radeon star.
Oh, doom shit.
This year, we built this city. And it might be a temporary city, but it's got them $4 trillion in market value.
They
First
beat
company
Apple.
ever.
Yes.
Beat Apple. Apple is the
Well,
first
Apple is
$1 billion company.
What is Apple doing except floundering around trying to keep up with even Google in AI? But
They've got a really nice building, though. Really nice.
it's
miss.
round.
Big miss on AI with them. I totally agree.
Yes. NVIDIA is absolutely catering to the NVIDIA AI hype powered by NVIDIA.
The one that amazes me is that last February is when it was like, oh my God, NVIDIA hit the 2 trillion mark. Wait, sorry, just about a year ago, just over a year ago. So within that 18 months or so, they have doubled their value to become the first $4 trillion market valued company. That is boing. There was a little bit of a dip. Like they did take a little hit there when there was some political stuff going on, but it didn't last. So they've blasted past Apple. They've blasted past Microsoft. They've literally blasted past everyone because they're selling the shovels in the gold rush.
Yep.
You want to get into AI, you're buying NVIDIA. You may not make any money, but NVIDIA will.
So many mutual funds, so many 401ks
Oh, I
are
wish.
just so predicated on NVIDIA. It's like one of mine is like the entire value is, they've got hundreds of companies. NVIDIA itself is like 5 or 6%, which when you consider how many companies there are, that's a pretty good, chunk of stock there. So yeah, they're just, I mean, was it 2 years ago? They talked about an engineer who never sold off any of his profit sharing or shares, and he retired a $68 million millionaire. I mean, it's silly how much money that they're making and how much, if you had invested in them back in 1997, 98, when they first had their, initial stock offering, that it was $20, quickly went up to $25.
Ooh, sell.
Yeah. So
They made so much money they stole the Scrooge McDuck picture from Intel.
Yeah.
Because the Scrooge McDuck picture went up today for my post on this.
Saw it.
And it's always been Intel before that. This is not maybe great news for people looking for another mid-range card from NVIDIA. Because why would they bother taping out a chip, let alone dedicate a line to doing something like that when it could be running HPC cards? So I'm wondering, is this sort of are we seeing the death of the mid-range from NVIDIA, that the 5050 is about the best we're ever going to see in that, and it's all going to be super expensive? Yeah.
You really had to come way around there to find the phrase the best.
But hey,
the 50/50.
AMD's there to rescue the mainstream gamer because they're the platform of choice for the consoles and the handhelds. So
yes.
Well, also that 9060 XT 16 gigs are all down at, there's a bunch of them down at $359, which is
good
MSRP. There's nothing, I mean, they're not maybe selling a whole bunch of them, but it's an option. But yeah, what's NVIDIA's point in doing anything less than a 50/50? They never will again. And I mean, as John Doak mentioned, their RTX Pro 6000 series, which are about 8K, they're getting snapped up really, really, really quickly because these machine learning and AI people who are, not AWS, Meta, all these guys, they're grabbing these cards because they have small workloads that actually work on these things. I mean, we've got one of the last generation plus a couple of RTX 3090s, and they're fantastic for, the machine learning stuff that we're doing in my work. So we're looking at more RTX 6000 series, whether it was, a last generation one or a current, because having 48 to 96 gigs of memory is really big it's a big deal for these models, and they run.
Does that mean you're selling off those lightly used Titans?
No, we do have one Titan, the Titan XP, and it's the Empire version. So when we got that,
isn't that the one you shoved in the bottom of a windmill or something?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
But no, accounting and P&I, they kind of looked at us askew when we bought that one. Why does this box say Star Wars on it? No, really, it's a NVIDIA video card.
It's the only one they had.
Yeah.
I swear.
I would have got the Jedi one, but
I was looking for I was looking for a news story I'd read about the 4 trillion earlier today, and I found it. So yeah, since early 23, they have gone from 400 billion to 4 trillion in 2 years. 2 years and a couple of months. That's just
unprecedented,
ridiculous, astounding. Yes.
When is the bubble going to break? When?
Yeah.
The bubble is never going to burst. AI, it's taking over. And in fact, GlobalFoundries has acquired MIPS to accelerate AI and compute capabilities.
Boy, MIPS have been around a long time. You know, one of the original RISC processors in the late 80s and 90s. And I mean, they've constantly been, designing things, but, they were not as big as what they used to be. It's like the Spark and those kind of peoples, DEC and all those guys, they've just faded into the background. But GlobalFoundries is definitely looking to diversify because they are not pursuing cutting edge stuff anymore. They canceled their 7 nanometer, which I think that they were licensing from Samsung, maybe. I can't remember exactly, but they then focused on mixed signal stuff, analog, using their FD-SOI technology to give planar designs FinFET performance, and also some of these planar designs actually went to super low power, unlike some of the FinFET stuff. So it's been okay for them. They've really optimized a lot of their older process nodes, and so they're looking to get those angles. And perhaps this is another income stream that they can kind of work more hand in hand with the engineers with MIPS to do more optimized designs that will take advantage of this AI world that we're living in. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens. Anybody else get anything else out of that piece of news?
This news story this morning reminded me of an excellent Computer History Museum documentary. Well, it's a panel. It's called MIPS, Risking It All on Risk. And you can learn about the origin of MIPS from the people who started the company and learn about what went into the formation of that company, which is now just a name. MIPS has AI processor design IP, I guess.
Okay.
So it says in their press release. MIPS, a leading supplier of AI and processor IP.
I wonder if they're trying to get into some of the ASIC stuff. Now, there's been a huge debate on ASICs versus GPUs for AI stuff. And I mean, some of it makes
100%
sense.
Josh.
Some of it makes sense. I mean, I'm in the camp of GPUs are overall better because software is also evolving and GPUs are more general purpose. So ASICs have, if you're willing to stay in a kind of a static situation in terms of software, then they can accelerate things really, really fastly at low power. But if you want to expand out, oh wow, I haven't. But is that rat in the box? Or you nuked the cola?
No, it's amnesiac, but I was thinking Nuka-Cola.
Oh, okay.
It's got that same green.
No.
That's the thing. ASICs
rat in the box,
cheap,
look it up.
and you can stack them all up.
And they're super efficient at what they do, but their flexibility is bad.
One thing.
We looked at that. We looked at the Bitcoin stuff, and a lot of these ASICs, and these ASICs were developed by people who mined the living crap out of the ASICs, and then they sold them off to other third parties. Look how much money you're going to make, even though they got to like 75% of everything that could be mined with these, and
and then you give them to other people.
Yeah, exactly. You sell them off, and you actually make even more money. So, but yeah, it's a scam. It's all pyramid scheme. But no, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe they will create a little niche for themselves and, put out some ASICs based on MIPS technology and sell a bunch of them.
I think they will. I really do think that's what they were doing with this purchase. Will it work out? Well, I mean, that's always the good question because they like engaging in risky business, but I could totally see this working out because, hey, you did it first. I can totally see this work out because there is a bunch of people that realize, oh no, that's not general purpose AI I need. I need AI for one very specific thing. I want it trained and I want it to just do this. So yeah, I could constant updates and new and impressive improvements that break half my stuff until I fix it. Or I can just buy ASICs for pennies and just, it's not working good enough anymore. Fine, buy another 3 dozen of them and slap them together. Okay, yeah, everything's fixed again. So I could definitely see this. And GloFo, I mean, they may have made a mistake at the very beginning of their existence, but I think they learned from it, and I haven't seen them make any mistakes since.
Didn't they sell off their EUV machine that they got it delivered, and then they said we can't afford to use it?
But then we bailed on AMD, and we didn't have to worry about them anymore, and things.
Well, AMD kind of bailed on them.
It was mutual.
But it was, it was. I mean, GlobalFoundries was not moving fast enough as compared to what TSMC was doing. And now TSMC is the 800-pound gorilla overtaking Intel, which we will talk about a little bit later.
Very
sure.
Yeah.
From Tom's Hardware, a project to bring CUDA to non-NVIDIA GPUs. We know about ZLUDA. We've talked about it before. It was dead in the water, right? Well, it won't die.
Yes.
Because the promise, it's so delightfully
lucrative.
It's wrong. It's just wrong. You're not supposed to run CUDA on non-NVIDIA GPUs. They don't want you to. We could have
But what if you coulda?
Maybe you shouldn't have, but what if you coulda?
Coulda, shoulda, ZLUDA.
So
that's their.
You're right. It was down to a single developer sometime last year, and an unknown benefactor stepped in with cash, and they've been able to bring in another developer, and they are accelerating the projects. And they are pushing towards being able to run LLMs on this version of CUDA that are being run on other GPUs other than NVIDIA cards. So interesting take.
Wouldn't it be great if Steve Ballmer was the shadow VC of this project?
Oh, yes. Yes, it would.
The problem with this is that you can't actually make any money off of it. Yeah, you can pour money into the project because you want to be altruistic, I guess. But when it comes to actually getting a return, there's no way to legally make money off of.
Sebastian, I just don't think that we're smart enough to see around that corner. We don't know.
Didn't Ballmer buy the LA Clippers? I mean, he's looking to lose money.
Ooh.
Hey, let's sell a product that violates NVIDIA's terms of service for this programming language.
I honestly don't know how they're doing this without.
Benito is a known benefactor of PC perspective.
Yes,
and we appreciate
he is actually. Yep.
He's nefarious.
So someday you're going to see LLMs running on ZLUDA, running on AMD cards. Why they want to do that?
On ASIC.
We all know that CUDA is the most learned GPU programming language for important reasons. So if it runs on other hardware, good for that hardware, I suppose.
You're still not going to make money programming AI, but
it's got a long way to go. It's got some. It's got a bunch of. It's got to be more accurate. They left out a lot of steps in accuracy, and they're tuning that all and working through test suites. So it's years away from usability.
But come on, 1 bit accuracy is fine, isn't it?
It's got to match what CUDA does.
Am I muted?
No.
We're at that whole. You've got a website stage of bubble burst. So yeah.
Or it could just be, NVIDIA playing the long game here. They're going to wait until this is ready and say, great, this is good. Now for every use of it, we're getting a licensing fee.
Mm-hmm. Or they just come up with CUDA too. And, Yeah, congratulations. You can copy our last generation. This one's 4 times as efficient.
Yeah, or they'll just add more instructions to the instruction set.
You know, AI, it's such a better scam than blockchain was that I can see why it's had the legs that it's had. It's so easy.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a compelling
But they're
demo for non-tech
intertwined.
types.
They're the same.
It's a compelling demo for the non-tech literate because they can see a digital assistant summarize things for them. They can
Or an agent.
show AI, editing photos for them or generating video. And they're like, this is amazing. This is so powerful. What could we do with this, guys? Hey, what could we do with this? And there's a whole boardroom together like, oh, how could we leverage this? This is really cool. We could save a lot of money with this. Where with blockchain, it was a bunch of obscure rhetoric about leveraging this for something, and it's the future of record keeping, and it wasn't very exciting. It didn't last. And the metaverse,
it was a solution looking for a
They're
problem.
the same picture.
Blockchain.
They're the same picture.
They're the same
now-
picture. It's
AI.
What is the difference between blockchain and AI?
You were very
it's a
close.
modern version now.
Sebastian, you were very close to the catchphrase of leveraging the power of the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
You were close.
Now we can just show people generated video. This was made using AI. Wow, it looks so real. Wow, that's really impressive. How can we use that in our business? So it'll last a while until they realize, how much have we spent on AI infrastructure? Oh my, what are we making off
How
of
much
that?
we spend on
Nothing.
power a month?
Well, every
How much
town
you
needs to
got?
have a nuclear generator again. So,
Yeah.
nuclear reactor. All right. The 50 series from NVIDIA, the RTX 50 series, it's finally in the Steam hardware survey. Yes, it has penetrated into the mainstream. Forget the 3060. It's all about the 5070. That's leading the 50 series pack with
Can you believe it?
almost 1% of the total market share on Steam.
I
That's
can.
up from 0.38%. It's very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Boy, look at that 5080.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there is 0.57%. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's the worst price card in the world. Price performance,
Yeah, but
the worst.
what if it was the only one you could get?
Josh, you're assuming that people buy cards based on their performance. As far as I know, you buy the most expensive NVIDIA RTX card you can. And then you can say, well,
that's how it
I've got a
works.
5080. Oh,
I wish
Got a
Really?
5070 Ti
Super.
Super.
right.
Oh,
I
you went
guess
there.
mine isn't as good.
I wish
Right,
you
well,
were
that was-
wrong, but you're not.
But my
That was a
card,
compelling story. We're going to
94%.
move to the next
No, I mean,
one.
the 5070 is really
it's the
one of it's the
5070.
best price performance for
Yeah.
NVIDIA cards. It's actually, you can get it at MSRP, sometimes a little bit lower. They're widely available. They only have 12 gigs of memory, but for most people, that's going to be good enough. And so, again, this is the top end of a lot of people's buying ability. And good on you, I guess. It's not bad. It's really efficient for what it does. So, just ask Sebastian. He'll tell you all about it.
I'm
He
trying
just
to
reviewed one
research.
not very long ago.
Yeah, no, David Schwab asked an interesting question, which is, does it include the mobile 5080s?
Probably.
Possibly.
Because if it does, that makes a lot more sense.
But it is a different GPU, so who knows?
Yeah.
But you're right.
I mean, the 70 series always seems to be that sweet spot in the early launch cycle. They sell the 70 series a lot more, and then as the series ages, then you'll see the 60s start to be the higher numbers on the Steam survey. You'll see a lot more of the 60 series, but early on, it always seems to be the 70s. Since the 970, probably even since the 770, they sold a lot more of those than the 80 series, and it's like people look at that 70 and go, I can get almost as good at a lot less money, and That's where they go.
Yeah, they sold a lot of 1070s. GTX 1070 was a massive moneymaker for them before AI.
AI. Let's talk about the PlayStation. And the PS5 Pro, obviously one of the most lauded launches in video gaming history. No one at all considers it to be an overpriced upgrade that's barely noticeable in any way.
Why are we talking about the Switch 2?
The Switch 2 actually is a major upgrade, but the PS5 Pro, do you notice a difference? Probably not. Anyway, the PS5 Pro, it's getting a big upgrade in 2026. Mark Cerny was talking to, it's coverage here at Tom's Guide. And he was explaining AMD and Project Amethyst. There's an interesting passage down here. As PlayStation moves, PC gaming moves too. And here is Cerny, quote, "Big chunks of RDNA 5 or whatever AMD ends up calling it are coming out of engineering I am doing on the project," end quote. So apparently Cerny not shy about claiming ownership over advancements that AMD is going to be making with its next generation graphics architecture.
What does the chief GPU architect say about that?
Well, AMD chief GPU architect Mike Mantor, is he still the chief? I thought he was a chief emeritus or something. I don't know. He was still actively.
No, as far as I know, he's still there.
Okay. So the chief GPU architect, Mike Mantor, and his team will presumably be able to use whatever they glean from Sony to design the next generation of AMD graphics hardware, which will lay the foundation for a future of PC gaming, opines this author. And if the rumors are to be believed, we could see a next-gen AMD graphics as soon as 2026. So who knows what
would be
the
called
hell
RDNA 6.
He's talking about. This was probably an interview conducted after several drinks. And we don't know. We just don't know. But apparently exciting new tech that's absolutely going to be directly transferred to the PC gaming side of things. What can PlayStation really offer? There was a big
the cell
emphasis
architecture
on storage performance. That's IBM. There was a big emphasis on storage performance with PlayStation. That was one of their big things, was like quick loading of textures because of high bandwidth. And we got direct storage in Windows, and nobody uses it. It's in nothing. Nobody cares. It's basically dead.
In the other article stated that, and something that's already been delivered out of this Project Amethyst is FSR4. Mm-hmm. That's where FSR4 came from for AMD.
Sony still develops a lot of stuff. They have a lot of R&D.
Guys, it finally happened. Windows 11 has hit 50% market share almost 4 years into its release. And that's mostly because it's just been crammed down everybody's throat. New PCs, of course, are all running it. I guess I can understand if it's more crazy that half of the people are actually running this, or that it's only half. Because it seems increasingly difficult to avoid running Windows 11.
Just damage your TPM chip and you're safe. Or haven't
people are just panicked. They're panicked because Microsoft is finally saying, for real, we're pulling the plug this time.
Oh, no.
We mean it.
It's worse than that. We're pulling the plug unless you use Bing.
Huh. Right.
If you use Bing, we'll let you hold on to it a little bit longer.
Wait, if I upgrade to Windows 11, do I have to use Bing? No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Okay. I'm upgrading now.
I'm buying a computer right now.
I'm clicking buy now.
Yeah. It was that threat that did it.
The Microsoft just says, if you only knew, it's at a much, much lower level that we're tracking you.
Yes. But unfortunately, what we're seeing is not the consumer going out and buying. We're seeing enterprise and small business finally biting the bullet and saying, we have to do it. I mean, there is no choice. We've gotten a lot of nasty grams from our security auditors and our customers saying, no, you need to move to a operating system that's still going to get updates. And no, searching through Bing is not good enough because you're supposed to be working on our projects, not asking Bing about them, because we know that's not going to work out well. So that's what we're seeing, is a bunch of businesses finally scraping together the money, dumping it, because as we mentioned last month, over the past year, Let me try that again. As we mentioned last week, over the past year, a bunch of companies stocked up on Windows 11 laptops, on AI first laptops, and consumers aren't biting. They're not buying them. They're just sitting there, and no one is picking them up because most of them are like, well, you know what? I will use Bing, damn it. I will use Bing.
Are you saying that people were able to resist the lure of the transformational Qualcomm-powered Copilot Plus infused AI PCs?
Which can't run a whole bunch of antivirus or VPN software,
you don't need
as
to,
I found out
because
recently.
nothing runs on them anyway. So
No.
you don't have to worry about running antivirus on those things.
Wait, so I can buy a Surface that can't run Microsoft products again? Yes, son, you can.
Yes, you can.
Didn't they learn the first time? No,
No, they just
didn't.
need Rosetta running under the scene, like behind the scenes.
That's right.
Make everything work. Apple had this stuff figured out a long time ago.
Surprisingly, their stuff ran Windows better than many would say Windows.
Well, back in the day, I would not say that Rosetta ran
Surface
Power
Pro?
PC code all that wonderfully on early Intel Core Duo
No.
machines, but
No, it got better.
Rosetta 2 is
It got better.
really good. Yeah. So run out and update to Windows 11 25H7 today. From Tom's Hardware, lack of PC bandwidth can nerf RTX 5090 performance by up to 25% in content creation workloads. Now, say you're actually using your card for something other than gaming.
What did they do?
or
Plug it into a
LLMs.
PCIe 4X band?
Yeah, I guess if you just don't have enough lanes. What if you think, I only need 8 lanes, it's fine. No, it's not fine.
Actually, you should look at the chart.
16.
Check the chart. There's very little difference between 16 lanes of PCIe 5 and 8 lanes with this workload.
Like, it does say that, maybe you should be moving off of PCIe 3.0.
Yeah, PCI 4.0, 16 lanes is almost even with 5.0, which makes sense. 8 lanes of 5.0 is essentially 16 lanes of 4.0 in bandwidth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Are you going to really put a 5090 into an older AM4?
After buying the 5090, this old Optiplex that I found used is all I can afford.
Yeah.
But on modern
I
boards,
saw it on sale for $2,800.
It does mean you should pay attention to how often you divide your bus with how many NVMe or other devices you may put in.
That's
right.
This
important bit here.
This is probably for those people who are trying to put together some kind of system that has like 6 of them on one board or something. And
obviously,
of course,
that's that kind of
performance
workload.
is not going to be there. Okay, this is going to be a topic for Josh.
Uh-oh.
So we've heard some rumors about this topic, Intel and their 18A. And, it seems like every time in the last few years that Intel has had an issue with one of their process nodes, they have simply moved on to another process node that's even smaller, and they try to get that working.
They spend good money doing that.
Yeah. So 18A, we're not really finding customers for it. It's not really what we want it to be. Okay, they might be moving on from 18A, and they'll just work on, whatever is next, like
18A
12A
plus
or something.
plus.
So Intel has a, history of their processor engineers working very, very closely with the foundry. And a lot of their tools are very esoteric. And they've improved them over the years, but they're not nearly as user-friendly as the stuff that you can, plug into all these EDA softwares and say, TSMC is offering these standard cell designs and libraries. And, we can do some, a little bit more custom stuff if you want to pay for it, like NVIDIA does. And Intel just does not have, they've had foundry partners before. They've been marginally successful. They've delivered products, but they've never been a runaway success. They've never challenged TSMC. In fact, as we know for a long time, Intel went to TSMC for their CPU core chiplets for generations. And for good reason too, because TSMC had a better overall working process that was much more cost effective and allowed Intel just to continue to compete with AMD. So they've kind of gone a moonshot with their 18A, and I think it's going to be fine for their in-house CPUs. But again, it sounds like it's going to be way more troublesome than what it is worth for a third-party company to come in and try to get a well-working design at good yields and speeds versus what they could do a lot more simply and probably more cheaply with TSMC. So being a third, party, pure play foundry, TSMC has decades of experience. They were not always the top dog, but they're very customer oriented because that's their entire job. They don't have products of their own. They offer things to you to make your products better. They're like the BASF of Silicon World, maybe. Anyway, so yeah, they have decades of software processes, the ability to do and make your design a reality on a cutting edge fabrication technology. And Intel still doesn't have that, and they've been cutting their workforce more and more and more, and even in manufacturing. So they're at a point where I just don't think they can do it effectively and make it cost effective for their third parties. So yeah, it would not shock me if 18A was pulled off the table as a foundry process for partners to use, because it's just hard to get it to work in a way that these people coming in who have not had decades of working between foundry engineers and CPU designers to do it right.
I was just thinking, like, many, many, many moons ago, Josh, do you remember how excited we were about the idea of gate all around?
GAA, yeah.
Yeah. And so now we're looking at what RibbonFET 2, I think this is off of, which is like the evolution of that. But it was a game changer. And, it's about time we brought up the PFM, because it just gets more and more.
I don't know.
TSMC
and Samsung are actually looks like they're going to have usable GAA processes available next year for risk production. And Intel is not quite there yet.
Yeah. Don't worry, they'll bring out a plus or two.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting idea. CarFax, look up that vehicle history. It doesn't actually cover all the stuff that wasn't reported, but it can make you feel better about buying a used car that somebody has
somewhat
abused in their own way.
See,
HP, PCPer. So it's like a rootkit, and then it secretly details the usage on the computer to a secure SSD partition. It doesn't sound creepy at all.
Which
is
encrypted
used for marketing purposes in any way.
No.
It won't be phoning home using HP's app.
Nope.
It's just there so that secondhand laptop buyers that they don't want will be able to see, this was used for what? You did what with this laptop?
Exact.
Back up the bus a second.
What you did with your laptop.
It's targeted at enterprise users right now, naturally. Because we all know that in the enterprise space, a lot of times, rather than fixing any problematic hardware, or as Jeremy especially knows this, this is 2 years old, we recycle or we cycle out all of our 2-year-old hardware at a particular date, whether it's still good or not. It's like fleet vans or whatever. It's like all the Avis cars. So it depends.
2 years.
Is your company doing well or not? But anyway, the point is that a lot of times industry gets rid of a lot of hardware that probably still has some life left in it. So the point is that for those that are equipped this way, you can look at it and go, how many times has this been serviced? How many hours, screen hours, or hour power on time does it have? And whatever other things that this is going to keep track of, and whatever.
How long did your processor run at 101C?
Exactly.
There's silicon degradation there. what's my useful life score for my Intel
What if it boils
powered
that down?
laptop?
We essentially have that.
31% of useful life left.
We essentially already have that on the SSDs.
Yeah. Well, now it'll start reporting the battery stuff too. So it'll be like, this battery's been charged and recharged 7,000 times. So that's bad.
The BIOS already records thermal events.
Yes, but does it record? This is the third battery this laptop has had in its lifetime.
No, the screws on the bottom of the laptop tell you that story.
You mean the missing screws?
Yeah. And that one stripped one that we just cracked the casing on.
What's the...
no. That's super glue.
What's the keyboard spill sensor data on this laptop? Oh, 17 times it's had liquid spilled on the keyboard. Okay.
That's not good.
Moisture sensor.
Liquid spill.
Only 17?
Yep. This CPU only reaches 70%
used by an old lady
potential,
only on Sundays.
Potential performance due to degradation of the heat transfer. It can no longer...
What secondhand laptop buyers don't know will probably hurt them, but it doesn't hurt
but it's better not knowing.
The reseller.
I honestly think HP might be onto something here. It could be a thing.
I don't.
I do. We're
on two different sides of this. Let's debate it.
Let's talk in a year.
Okay, let's talk in a year.
I just look forward to building the
Apple decides to implement this, and suddenly
HPs.
Apple is going to implement this.
Suddenly, Apple computers that have had more than 200 or 300 recharge cycles on the battery, it's like, I'm sorry, your laptop is no longer able to operate at peak performance levels.
This is how Apple implements this. We implemented this 2 years ago, and now we're giving you the software to access this data. That's how they implement it.
Yeah, Apple's already doing this.
I thought my MacBook was slower. Actually, it was clocked down because it detected that there was enough silicon degradation that it couldn't operate at full speed anymore. Thank you, Apple.
Oh, no, it's been clocked down because the battery and everything is too old. And
battery's too old. Hyper-threading's been turned off to mitigate thermals.
That's very
Apple's
iOS.
never done that before.
Very iOS. Yes, they have.
They've never artificially degraded the performance of their Pro.
It's for your own good.
Yeah. That was the very carefully thought out response to that potential massive scandal and lawsuit. Yes. Let's pause here for a word from this week's podcast sponsor.
Who doesn't love summer? What you might find annoying are the mosquitoes, however, especially the ones that make it into your own house. That super annoying buzzing keeping you awake at night, the struggle to get them, scratching at the bites, or even keeping the kids safe from them. We've all been there. We spend a bunch of time talking about what AI is doing in our lives, so what about applying some of that automation to this problem? Now introducing bzigo Iris, your smart home mosquito detector. No kidding, the bzigo Iris is the first AI-powered mosquito detector, revolutionizing pest control. bzigo Iris is a cutting-edge device that uses computer vision and AI to detect, track, and pinpoint mosquitoes in real time. No more guessing, no more swatting at thin air, just a simple, precise way to finally take control of your space. With AI-powered scanning and laser targeting, what's not to like? bzigo's vision system scans your space 24/7, detecting mosquitoes instantly, and when they land, bzigo uses an eye-safe laser to pinpoint its exact location. There's even a companion app, so you get real-time notifications whether you're in the room or not. And of course, it works in total darkness using infrared. So put away the toxic sprays, bring in some cool new smart tech, and improve your fighting odds against these pests. Stop losing sleep over mosquitoes. Take back your nights with bzigo. Go to bzigo.com/discount/buzz10 and save 10% off. That's bzigo.com/discount/buzz10 and use code buzz10 to get 10% off. Say goodbye to itchy bites and sleepless nights. Thank you, bzigo, for sponsoring this episode.
Welcome to Insecurity Corner, your weekly reason to drink.
Our first story, Google's Gemini AI. Now, Google, they really, really want AI to pay off in a big way. So they can't just have you turning off features that they need to harvest data from.
Golly, no.
They're just going to go ahead and have it access all your third-party apps again, even if you already told it not to.
Wait, what?
So if you love Google's Gemini AI assistant, then nothing's going to change for you, writes Jeremy Hellstrom, because it's already doing everything behind the scenes, looking at all your activity, your habits, and harvesting all your data anonymously, I'm sure.
Helping you with your data.
Right. It's the other H word. It's not harvest, it's help. Okay.
Yes. There was a TM on the end of it. But yeah, if you're not a big fan of either Gemini or Gemini, and you've already told it to piss off, oh no, it is going to get re-enabled, maybe. Because the email that went out, and I just sort of posted that, like, my notification ended up in my spam in my Gmail, which I just love because not technically wrong. But in the notification, they sort of say that it's going to be able to access various things like messages, your phone calls, WhatsApp, a wonderful variety of all the things that you use on your Android phone, whether Gemini apps activity is turned on or off. But then later in the same email, they say that if you turned it off, it's going to remain off. So mixed messages here a little bit.
I don't trust them.
The best part is that you can block it in the same email. That doesn't make any sense. You can block apps that Gemini interacts with, but even in those cases, data is stored for 72 hours. But if I blocked it, why do you have it for 72 hours and then you get rid of it when I told you not to in the first place? They also made it even better by not giving you any idea how to turn these off. So generally what I would suggest is, even if you've uninstalled Gemini on your Android device, reinstall it, fire it up, see if it's tracked anything, because you can then say, what have you seen in my activity in the last 72 hours or longer? And if it says there's absolutely no activity been logged, uninstall it again and hope that it was telling the truth.
Just trust.
Just hope.
The screenshot of this email, which obviously
it's great.
Clearly the spam filter is working, because the way this is worded, it feels like spam. It's AI generated nonsense, because it says, what's changing? Gemini will soon be able to help you use phone, messages, WhatsApp, and utilities on your phone, whether your Gemini app's activity is on or off. And then later, if you've already turned off these features, they will remain off. Like, okay.
So the AI wrote
we actually mean
how to use itself. Is that what you're implying?
What exactly is indicated by these features? If you don't want to use these features, you can turn them off in the app's settings page. This looks fake. Look, app settings
ambiguous.
has a
it's like Internet Explorer 3.0.
This is very odd.
Or wasn't it 4.0 that integrated itself into the actual OS so that it changed the way you view file system, your file explorer?
Yeah.
Oh.
They said it couldn't be
reversed. Josh, that is older than the quote that I was going to go with, which was, it depends on what your definition of the word off is.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's very confusing, just like most AI things. And Gemini, I think what you'll take away from this is, regardless what you do, Gemini will be tracking you. But maybe only for 72 hours-ish, sort of.
Okay, speaking of tracking, we've all seen how cats track their prey. And they're very patient. Mm-hmm. They're very mysterious in their ways. Just like this app called Cat Watchful, which was supposed to be monitoring all your activities on your Android device, not Gemini. This is something different. This is something where you actually wanted it to happen. But this covert surveillance app spilled the beans. 62,000 passwords, apparently, have been
personal data, passwords,
harvested,
et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so here's another piece of security software that went rogue or went wrong. This is, as Sebastian was saying, an application you might install on a family member's phone, children's phone, to keep track of what it is they're doing, as a sort of legitimate use case. And it itself is susceptible to a unfiltered SQL injection technique that essentially allowed the online service to spill over 62,000 sets of unencrypted credentials that would identify other operators.
Credentials.
Essentially, unencrypted credentials. Yeah,
this is very sad. Description of this as being stalkerware. So you grab you grab somebody's phone, you install this, and then without their knowledge, it starts sending all the activity of the phone to some web portal that you can log into and look, oh, this is what they're doing. This is who they're talking to. This is who they just texted. So it's very creepy, but don't worry. There's a back door and a hidden back door.
The app is supposed to be invisible and quote unquote non-detectable, on the phone once it's installed there. But apparently it's detectable, after you crack all of their data, in their online repository. Then you can pull the information out to say, oh, this has been on Dave's phone, and you know all about what Dave has been doing. I mean, I don't know Dave personally, but
I don't want to know what Dave was doing, though.
I mean, I probably could if I'd wanted to now. I have no interest in it, but I could. Security software.
I thought that all that kind of stuff was just on the PC, but apparently, now that the phone is the PC, it's the personal computer we all carry around in our pocket. Of course, there'd be...
It's equal opportunity.
Weird...
For everything.
Yeah. Stalkerware. Great. Something less depressing, perhaps. AT&T wireless account lock, SIM swap protection. Now, there was some argument about whether this is actually the first SIM swap protection rolled out in North America. Somebody claims that Verizon already
I was wrong.
Maybe the first GSM?
This is one of the easiest ways to ruin someone's life, is by either, social engineering or often straight out bribery, because apparently just over minimum wage employees that work at cellular companies are willing to take bribes. Will let you swap a phone number from one SIM to another without necessarily you owning that number in the first place. And as soon as that SIM card has been updated to your number, they're getting all your MFA. And this is why you should never do MFA via text. Do it through app or Morse code or Etch-a-Sketch or something. Just don't do it through text. Because the second that someone has got your number, they can throw in their thing, oh, forgot my password. Okay, well, we're going to send you the MFA code and you can verify that it's you. Tee-hee. So AT&T has finally put in a little toggle that you can do on your account where it says, do not move my phone number to a brand new SIM unless I toggle this off on purpose. And best thing about this is that I know that a bunch of people are going to be phoning AT&T tech support saying, I just got a new phone and I can't port my number to the new SIM.
Yep. That'll happen.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very basic thing, which I am shocked to see a phone provider do. I mean, at this point, we're still begging them to, hey, could you verify the number that is calling me as opposed to just letting them tell you what the number is and then showing it to me? Oh no, that would cost more than $0, so we can't possibly do that. So yes, Verizon and AT&T are actually bringing this in. I would suggest doing it. It's still not going to protect you from, cell tower impersonation and a bunch of other things, but it's one tiny little layer of protection. Then again, don't use AT&T, but that's just personal.
According to our chat, AT&T number one in the U.S. And
yes.
then Verizon. I feel like Verizon.
So Verizon took over T-Mo first number two. Then they are both number two, though.
Says the Canadian.
Yes.
AT&T. Well,
I support the Americans.
Look, as every proud Apple user
AT&T and T-Mo than I do crap shoot up here.
There are reasons for that, and you know them.
Because originally
they were
the iPhone was only on Singular, and then AT&T bought Singular. So all the Apple stalwarts dutifully went over to AT&T for the iPhone 3G and beyond.
That's correct.
I mean, there was a while we could refer to AT&T as the Death Star because they just kept threatening either you join us or we blow up everything.
It was a big deal when the iPhone was available on Verizon for the first time here.
It was. It was a big deal.
All right. So continuing our coverage of Ars Technica news stories this week, court nullifies click to cancel rule that required easy methods of cancellation. Now, you may have heard about this. Some people have talked a lot about that one gym where you have to go in, cancel in person, Planet Fitness. And they didn't like that. They want it to be easy to cancel any service. You shouldn't have to call and be talked out of it by somebody and just cancel my stuff.
As easy it was to sign up. It should be just as easy or more so.
Special interests have gotten
I'm
involved.
sorry, you are absolutely wrong. That would be, just unfair towards the company that you signed up with. Right. So no, there is no way in possible hell that you can click to cancel.
As Sebastian was implying, special interest did get involved. But this
it's oddly enough, it says a federal appeals court struck down the click to cancel rule. I can't imagine
who brought that appeal. Who brought that appeal?
At the federal court level, possibly taking money from anybody or being in any way influenced by special interests.
Pure as the driven snow. But this was brought down on a technicality. I would expect this to come back. And that technicality was simply that the regulatory, as prescribed by the regulations, was not followed for the review process, the review period in time, and the review time for feedback, and the evaluation of that feedback ruling was not originally done when this happened in the previous administration. So I think that you may see this resubmitted and the proper rules, regulations followed to get it implemented. I would expect this to come back, but it has been struck down at this point. We did talk about it sort of glowingly maybe a month or so ago that this was going to be nice to have, especially for those people who just couldn't navigate some of the difficulties of getting out of certain things that they may have never wanted to sign up for in the first place. This would have made it a lot easier on the relatives who essentially call, quote unquote, us to help them out of their situations. I was looking forward to it. Hope it comes back around.
Well, too bad, because when numerous industry groups and businesses, including cable companies, sued the FTC in 4 federal circuit courts, suddenly it was not a very popular decision anymore. They're like, hey, do you have any idea how much money we contribute to X, Y, and Z? And you're going to do this to us? You're
going to allow people to opt out? What?
Making it hard to cancel things is why so many people pay like $160 a month for cable TV. They don't even know why they're paying that much or how they're paying that much. No. But they do, because it would be such a point of it's a pain point. I think it's how.
Have you ever tried to
we weren't running long, I have a great story about that, but
my favorite attempt to cancel stuff is satellite radio.
The NFL
is XM Sirius satellite radio. You ever tried to call and cancel that? That is the most amazing experience ever.
No, because they I have, and they offer you. Well, would you stay if we gave you 6 months for $5? No.
Yeah.
Would you stay if we gave you 6 months for $2? No. I said I want to cancel. I don't want it cheap. I want service.
What if we paid you 25 cents?
What if we send an escort to your house right now? It's time for gaming quick hits, and we only have one story. It's only one hit. Battlefield 6. It looks like this is photoshopped. Is that real? Is that a real 6?
It's someone who slapped a Battlefield 6 over top of a part of their demo. Well, no, it's been leaked a lot, but no one ever believes the leaks because this is going to be horrible. I'm sorry. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. But you've got the idiots at EA screaming and yelling that, no, we're going to get 100 million players playing Battlefield. That is somewhere between 3 to 5 times as many people as have ever played any Battlefield game from the beginning. They've never been a Fortnite, a Call of Duty, that sort of thing. There are a bunch of us that love Battlefield and are incredibly disappointed by the last 2 Battlefields. And don't worry, all the execs at EA are making sure that we will be even more disappointed by this one. They've blown over $400 million on the thing. everyone who's worked on it is either burnt out or has quit or is just on stress leave. They're trying to redo the engine, which I'm really interested in seeing because Battlefield is usually gorgeous. But no, they figure they're going to be the next Fortnite. I don't play Fortnite. Do you play Fortnite? It's not the game I want to play. When I want Battlefield, people always wonder, why do you have so many points at the end, but not a great kill to death ratio? Because you take points, you idiot, and you win the battlefield. It's in the name. But no, it's that they have decided that this is going to be another battle royale thing. They're going to take all of the people that were loyal to the franchise and just toss them to the side, make them, a tiny little sliver of the game base of the people that aren't going to play it because they're going to go back to COD Blops or to Fortnite. And to make things even nastier, they were forced to include a single player campaign, except it is way behind and just sort of going, overboard on development because they're ignoring it to do the Battle Royale to take down the Fortnites of the world. I don't understand. Well, I do because it's
all they have to do is just make it fun again. I mean, you could have really nice graphics, you can have some good physics, but as long as I can't throw some landmines on the front of a Jeep and run it through a gate in Iwo Jima, I'm not happy.
Then, yeah, who cares?
Make it fun. You don't have to make it realistic. I mean, make it look pretty, sure.
They're a little hung up on that sometimes. Yeah, it kind of destroys the fun occasionally.
Yeah.
Well, it does. Because, if you put about 3 or 4 satchel charges at the end of a log, you can definitely launch that out and take out a battleship. That is very realistic. No, but it's fun as hell to do. Hey, Stephen Webster 5, thank you very much.
Hey, Stephen Webster 5.
Okay, so I used the pipe wrench on the casserole dish, and now they're both
the 9x13
art. The other thing is, why can't we do Battlefield Bad Company again?
I'm sorry. All I can see is this Epic Games annual revenue chart that I pulled up, and it looks like Epic is making about $5 billion a year on a free-to-play game. So I wonder if maybe EA is looking at this and saying...
That's Uncle Tim's
They
money.
are.
It's just all they had to do was create something that appealed to a wide enough demographic, and they have so many licensed properties. There's something for everyone. Are you into Marvel? Are you into anime? Are you into anything you can think of? There's probably a Fortnite skin or pack or song clip or something that you can spend real money on. And the game doesn't look realistic at all. It's just a place where a lot of other people are. And there's a million different modes, and it makes a tremendous amount of money.
I'm looking forward to when they host a concert in Battlefield.
Yes. There's been a number of those in Fortnite already.
Yes.
And every Fortnite season now is just an ad for the next movie that's coming out. Like Superman. It's the Superman season right now.
And hey, I respect them for that, but that's not the type of game I want to play. Yes, it's the type of game that a lot of people want to. And hey, have fun. And honestly, maybe I might pop in every once in a while and just have a blast, but it's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. It's EA, though, so, what more do I have to say?
Right. They're on that paper chase, Jeremy, and they'll do whatever it takes to get some of that Tim Sweeney money.
Will. That sweet, sweet Sweeney money.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Anyways,
if you have...
did you do a graphics card this year?
Yes, I was going to say, if you have some of that Tim Sweeney money on hand, buy yourself a sweet new graphics card, but you might be surprised.
Which one?
Stick around to the end of this review, because you might just be surprised at how little this actually costs. It is the XFX Mercury AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT OC Magnetic Air Edition graphics card.
Say that
And
3 times fast without breathing.
It has 3 of those magnetically attached fans. Josh talked about these fans. He has demonstrated them. I linked to one of his YouTube reviews that shows you the magnetic fans. And if you're not familiar, they're so clever. The fan itself is completely separate from the graphics card. And there are these little contacts that are spring loaded, and then you can just pop it in, and there are the copper traces right there, and the contacts just touch against them, and the fan works, and you can just pull it off. I don't recommend doing it while the fan is actually spinning at full speed. That might
good
Why
call.
not?
Good call.
I don't know. I haven't tested it though. It'll work. It'll come off.
Don't knock it till you try it.
And the tip of your finger might come off.
And by the way, it's so easy to clean this card. You have total access to the fins. You don't have to take anything apart. You can clean your fans whenever you want to. And it's just a very clever design. But look at this. This graphics card.
What
3
is that?
8
Wait.
pins. This is the better part of 4 slots. It is absolutely monstrous, this graphics card.
It is a large card.
3
Does it
8
come
pins.
with a car jack?
No, it doesn't. It's actually not as heavy as it looks, sadly. Although I forgot to weigh it. There's a lot of the shroud is plastic.
You forgot to weigh it, or you broke your scale?
I broke my scale. I forgot to buy a new scale after I tried weighing it. But look how tall this is. This is like 3.5
It's like
slots worth
4
of
slots.
thickness.
Yeah.
So it's a big boy. It's a chungus.
And 3 8 pins the way God intended.
But here's the thing. This is what's so disappointing about this, and why I kept trying different things with this card. I tried overclocking it, and I got like a frame, maybe 2 frames per second by overclocking. It's already pushed pretty hard. This is a 3100 megahertz boost clock already out of the box. It's the highest one for any card without modding it, without manual intervention. And look, compared to a stock 9070 XT, you're getting about 2 FPS more.
This feels disappointing. That
It
I
turns
said it out
out
loud.
that
I didn't mean to say it out loud. I didn't
this
mean to.
generation's GPU does not really scale all that much. With power.
9070 series are kind of maxed out anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But look at this power draw.
The firmware is very
crazy.
good about finding every edge of power and thermal availability to max out any particular clock action.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you pour a bunch of extra power at the problem, you use a lot of extra power. As this bit, I ran the PCAT hardware pass through here. You can see spikes of up to 430 watts. It was frequently over 400 watts. And that's for just a little bit better performance than a stock card. So it doesn't, I mean, when I undervolted, it was drawing less, but it was the performance improvement was so minimal that I just dropped those results. I have some screenshots.
Yeah, but how does it compare in terms of heat?
The heat on this card, there were no concerns even at full 400 plus watt stock mode. Because after the 20-minute Steel Nomad stress test, the GPU core temp was just sitting at 51. And that was with 38% fans. The fans were just, barely audible.
Well, isn't it like 3 slots worth of aluminum fins?
There's a lot of fins.
Oh, and they've got a crazy vapor chamber thing with it as well that is a next generation cooling. I mean, they talk about it a little bit, but they don't advertise it as much as they probably should. But I have the RX 9070 here. It got to like 56C at max, and this thing is pulling in essentially 200 watts more than that one, and staying at 51, 52. That's nuts.
They didn't really get into any details about a vapor chamber or anything in any of their marketing for this card.
Mm-hmm. There's a little bit, but that's...
Yeah. So yeah, it's just a little bit faster than a stock card, but it's a lot cooler and it's very quiet. So when you're actually shopping for one of these, a lot of it comes down to availability and how close
price
to their, MSRP they are. And of course, there's nothing anywhere. You're not going to find a $599 card. That was basically like a manufacturer incentive thing. There's $699 cards. But this one, when I looked yesterday, it was only $759. This is an $859 card. I don't know if it still is. I'm clicking right now. Yeah, it's still $759, and it's in stock. So considering that this has the highest boost clock you're going to get out of the box, yeah, maybe it's only 1 or 2 FPS more than stock, but it's still more than stock, and it's only $759. So for this level
You'll
of
never
performance,
have that nagging feeling that you've left it on the table. No,
right? It's
this is all
it's
of
like
it.
my rule of TVs. You'll never regret going with the largest size. You're not going to get home and say, "Oh, the 77-inch TV. I just shouldn't have gotten one this big." No, nonsense. If it fits in the room, it's the correct size.
I don't know. I still think you're wrong, but hey,
okay.
You do you.
Yes.
So basically, if this fits in the case, it's correct.
Yeah, if you have the slots for this, if you have the 3 PCIe 8 pins, because as I said in the review, this is not for the faint of powered. You really do need 3 8 pins. It really is going to pull well over 300 watts. This isn't the days of 300 plus 75 slot power. No. It's 400 plus right out of the PCIe. It recommends an 800 watt power supply, XFX does.
What do you got there?
Jeremy is muted.
Oh, it's an XFX.
Yeah, he picked up XFX card, very shortly after launch.
Is this the
same
And he has been happy about it. And unmute yourself, Jeremy. King Jeremy,
you're muted.
Wicked.
Oh, it is a 9070 XT. This is very close to the one. It is. Pro.
It's the Mercury.
Yeah, it is.
It's the Mercury.
He's crazy
It doesn't
about
have
Mercury.
magnetic fans, though.
Oh,
So
okay.
The only difference between this and the one you have is that my fans don't pop off. But it still has the same overclock on it. And because I guess there is something they did with those fans, it's only 3 1/4 slots, not 4. It's still monstrous, though. I highly recommend these things. I got it at stock price up here in Canada because, well, we have a couple of companies that will sell them at stock price and nothing else. They're often out of stock. But yeah, I 3100 megahertz, really decent temperatures. Yeah, it's a killer card. I really like this thing. I kind of wanted to go NVIDIA this generation. I wanted to try the, hardware ray tracing. Don't correct me. Yes, there is hardware ray tracing on this one. It's just not quite the same.
Oh, it's like third gen versus they're like
it's like an RTX 4000 series.
Yeah, it's very, very good this generation from AMD.
Yeah. And it they with the latest drivers, it's outscoring a 5070 Ti, which is $150 more expensive in most cases. So, yeah. No, I have no problems with a 9070 XT. It's a great product.
And if you're wondering why, please refer to the beginning of the podcast where we discussed where NVIDIA is making their money from.
Yeah, exactly.
It isn't you.
Right.
No.
Not you.
But you know what it is? Picks of the week. Josh.
Picks of the week.
I do before we get into picks of the week, I just do want to say that Kent is the only one who didn't get with the program around picking the correct thing for picks of the week.
You guys had everything covered.
I don't know about everything.
We sometimes have theme nights for picks of the week.
This is one of those.
This is going to be. Okay.
You do.
Oh, this was just last minute.
You know what's hot?
You?
Guys that sniff their own fingers.
Stop. You must stop. You must stop.
Oh my God.
This cannot go on.
All right. You know what? SK Hynix, they've finally released the P51 in the US, and it's on sale. So if you like that SK Hynix stuff, I mean, it's now competitive with the Samsungs and the new Western Digital PCI 5.0. And I'm very curious about the controller of this because it's made by themselves. They have a very good track record of SSDs. And so, yeah, it's competitive. It's available. And $270 for a 2 terabyte P51. I like it.
I like it a lot.
Jeremy, your pick this week.
I mean, up here in Canada, we got rid of the penny a long time ago. But that doesn't mean that 10 cents a gig isn't still a benchmark that we like to do. The old Schroet's Law. So there is currently a big celebration going on in Alberta, in Calgary, called the Stampede. And so one of the companies is doing a Stampede sale. And the Western Digital SN850X, it's a mere PCI 4, not 5. So there will be a few attoseconds of extra waiting time. But these are both under 10 cents a gig. The 8 terabyte or the 4 terabyte. The 2 terabyte is too expensive. Not worth it. But that 8 terabyte for $730, if you can afford it. If you can't, the 4 terabyte is just literally about half the price. Brilliant prices for really great SSDs, and as we've proven over and over again, it's not the girth of the SSD that matters, it's the size. The bigger it is, the more empty space that thing has to deal with, the faster it runs. So hey, if you're up here in Kazakhstan, give it a shot. Check out Memory Express. Amazing deal. Usually they're like $1,200. Not 730.
All right. Brett, your multiple picks this week.
I got the memo this week, and I didn't mess around. I'm like, NVMe storage is where it's at. Amazon Prime, oh my gosh. Cash in on these deals. Go to the top of the line. Like I said, don't mess around. The Samsung 9100 Pro in 4 terabyte is 30% off. It's available for $384. Ooh. Sebastian reviewed this, and there is none that are faster for most workloads. It's very, very, very fast for PCIe 5.04 by 4. It's essentially the new 1 terabyte, which is now the 4 terabyte drive, which is back when, remember when 1 terabyte cost, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. If you can't afford this one, why not buy 4 terabytes from the 990 Evo Plus? Now, it doesn't have cache on it, but they do try and accelerate the reads and write speeds. This is a Gen 4 drive, 4x4, $234 for a 4 terabyte drive. A very, very good deal.
Hey, Brett, this may not have its own cache, but you'll still have a lot more of your cache if you opt for this one.
I agree. This is probably the 990 Evo Plus is probably the slightly better deal here, especially if it's for a second drive, which you're going to maybe use for a lot of, write once, read many, kind of thing. This is probably a very, very good buy for that kind of usage scenario. Like games, like a game storage drive.
Nice. Thank you, Brett. Kent, you have a pick this week?
I do. If 1980s action movies have taught me anything, it's that you can be a maverick at any occupation. This week, I'm going to be a maverick product picker. All these other guys picking their SSD, no, I'm maverick this week. I'm going for a GPU. And here it is. 16 gig 9060 XT for $359.
Nice.
Best deal you can get on a graphics card right now, I think.
Takes a real man to pick that.
Good. Sapphire makes good. Their pulse. It's nice.
Yep.
And it's a lot smaller than the 9070 XT. A lot smaller.
And if you don't like that pick, you can have my badge and gun.
Turn it in.
You want to be my sledgehammer?
Wait, was I too maverick then? I don't know.
I think Jeremy is referring to Sledgehammer, the 80s cop sitcom.
Oh, yes.
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 Yeah. I thought he was referring to the video.
I skipped over Dirty Harry and went straight there.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing Peter Gabriel, but I missed the reference.
Oh, Oh, well, that is your homework for tonight, is you've got to watch Sledgehammer.
Yeah.
My pick
With
this
the,
week,
Colt
very
44.
high tech. It is, of course, hangers. Now, who out there
hey, good deal.
has run out of closet space? You have a tiny house, you got married, and then she took over all the closets, and then you tried, shoving a few shirts here and there where you could, but there's no room. Well, I did a little bit of research into this, and there have been advancements in the hanger technology world. I don't even know if these are the ones that I got because these look slightly different, but it was similar to this. They're half as thick
That looks
as a
AI
standard
generated.
hanger, but they have these little grippy things on the edges of them, so your shirts don't just fall off. They save space in the closet while keeping your clothes from falling down. And I think this is actually the one that I got because it looked like this. It has this little cutout thing in the middle so you can put a tie. You can put your shirt and the tie and then the jacket and the pants. It's all in one, and they're super slim. And so far, they haven't been total crap. So that's what I wanted. I wanted to fit
Damn it,
twice
I may
as
have
many.
to throw out all my hangers and replace them.
Hey, high five. Good pick.
Thanks.
Yeah.
My wife says, I'm not using those. And I said, fine. But I get to put twice as many of my clothes in what's left over now. So that's all. That's my pick. And I think that's going to do it for the PC Perspective podcast this week. We want to thank you all for watching, listening, and watching at the same time. Watching with YouTube's auto-generated captions, or with one of those weird AI-generated translated voices instead of our voices.
That would be interesting.
Or if you made your
high.
AI watch it and then summarize it afterwards.
And summarize it later. Maybe
It's like,
you were
hey,
doing something
Gemini,
else.
summarize the PC Perspective podcast for episode 829. It'd be like something about Josh smelling his own finger. Oh, okay. That sounds about right. I'll skip that one.
There was a chicken sandwich and a finger smelling incident.
The finger smelling was accompanied by some really disgusting sound effects.
I don't know what that was
like
a
a
reference to, and I don't
copper
want to know. So, but Josh was amused. That's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
So please come back next week for more of the same, or hopefully
Or
less. Yeah,
Or less
of the same.
Slightly less. It'll be different.
Less is more.
Yeah, that's
My mom's so
all.
proud.
oh. I bet.
All of our moms are very proud right
Yes. So proud.
All right. Good night.
Later.